So when it comes to subtracting integers, it doesn't really happen that much. And here's why. Have you ever heard of the term double negative? It happens in English. What's a double negative in English? Julia? Yeah. A double negative is when you put two negatives in a row and they cancel each other out. Here's a double negative. I'm not going to give you homework. What does that mean? That you're getting homework. A double negative changes into a positive. If you ever say a double negative in math, it changes to a positive. Now, that doesn't mean you have to say negative, negative. What else is a negative sign in math? Subtraction. So if you ever say subtraction and negative together, it's a double negative. Or if you say negative and, right? Negative and subtract are both negatives. And then if they're together, it cancels to a positive. It changes. So let's start easy and work our way harder. First example. 10 minus negative 3. That's a double negative in math. Carlos. Yeah, because there's a double negative. Now I understand those don't truly touch each other. There's a parentheses separating them. I get that. I understand there's a parentheses separating them, but a parentheses is not a number or an operation. It's just a placeholder. So I rewrite it, and instead of negative 3 or minus negative 3, it becomes a positive 3. And here's how my brain thinks of it. I look at this as a double negative. I cannot minus negative 3. What do I do instead? Add 3. All right, here's the way I thought of it all growing up. Hold on, I have to get paper ready. I got it. Thank you. If there's, a minus and a negative, right? If they're together, if they touch, minus, negative. My brain thought, you know what those two lines make? Two lines make a plus sign. In order to make a plus sign, you have to have two lines. So if two lines touch like this, if there's a number between them, it doesn't count. But if there's negative or minus negative, if two lines are right next to each other, I can make them into a plus sign.
Is that the way it is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you were going to do it.
So what's the answer to 10 minus negative 3? Let's try a little bit harder. Because now you're like, what if there are 3 negatives, Mrs. Long?
No, I'm not thinking about that.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that.
I'm thinking about how to do that.
Here are 3 negative signs, right? I mean, one of them's a minus sign, I get it. But there are 3 symbols that mean negative or smaller. And yes, there is a double negative in here again. It's not a triple negative because this front leading negative doesn't count because there's a number behind it. It's separate from the group. My double negative is right here. minus negative 2. Negative 8 minus negative 2. If you ever say minus and negative together, it's a double negative. So let's rewrite this problem. What does it look like?
Negative 8 plus 2.
Because that minus and negative together form a plus. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the rule we learned yesterday. Are the signs the same?
No.
Signs are different. Find the difference. 8 minus 2 is greatest distance. Negative 8 has the larger absolute value. So the answer is negative 6.
You know how I thought about that? The negative 8, I just added 2, so like...
Yep, it gets larger too. Okay, let's try this one, because this is where it throws everybody for a loop. Most of the time, your subtraction problems don't exist when you deal with integers. Most of the time, you look at it and you're like, no, that's a double negative. I have to change it to a plus. This problem, however, is not a double negative. The reason it's not a double negative, I get it, there are two negative signs, but they're separated by a number, so it doesn't count. So there are two ways of thinking of this. One way of thinking of this is like, forget it. I'm going to make it a plus problem no matter what. So I'm going to make it negative 6. And instead of minus 4, what's the same thing as minus 4?
Plus 4?
Plus negative 4. Those are the same. I have a negative 6 and I have a minus 4. So if I separate them, negative 6 plus negative 4. Same thing.
But how do you know if the negative sign is a minus sign and not a negative?
If I was to erase the rest of the problem, so the question was, how do you know that becomes a negative sign and it's not a minus sign? If I was going to erase the rest of the problem, would you say that's a minus or a negative? Because it's by itself, you don't say it's a minus 4, you'd say it's a negative 4, right? So if you cover up the rest of the problem, it belongs with that number. So are they the same or different?
They're the same.
They're the same. Find the sum. 10. Keep the sign. Negative 10. Or you can think of it this way. If I'm at negative 6 on a number line and I want to subtract 4, which way is subtraction, left or right? I'm going to subtract 1, 2, 3, 4. I end up at negative 10. Let's try another one. 2 minus 10. You can't do 2 minus 10. That's ridiculous. Can you rewrite that as an addition problem? Mariah, what is it? Perfect. 2 plus negative 10. Because if I cover up that 2, that's no longer a minus sign. It's a negative sign. Are they the same or different?
Different.
Find the difference. 10 minus 2 is 8. Greatest distance.
10, so it becomes a negative.
Negative 7 minus 13. Tell me about it.
The same. And
Can you rewrite it?
yeah.
Do you have to? Not necessarily. But at the beginning we should. How do you rewrite it? Sophia. Negative 7 plus negative 13, because I've got a negative 7 value and I've got a negative 13 value. Are they the same or different? Same. Find the, keep the. You want to try a hard one? Oh my gosh, nobody ever says yes. All right. 10 minus negative 8 minus 30 minus negative 2 minus 4. Quickly change your tune. It's easier than it looks. 10 minus negative 8 minus 30 minus negative 2 minus 4. Let's start left or right.
You can change it.
10 minus negative 8. What is it? It's a double negative, right?
Yes.
So I can just change it here. What is 10 plus 8? 18. And I'm going to rewrite the problem because these are our notes, and we want our notes to be as thorough as possible. Can you do 18 minus 30? No.
You can rewrite it.
You can rewrite it. 18 plus negative 30. Are they the same or different?
Different.
Find the,
Difference.
what's 30 minus 18?
12.
Greatest distance. So it's negative. Minus negative 2 minus 4.
Double negatives.
Double negatives.
Rewrite it.
Rewrite it as a plus plus, right?
Yeah.
Are they the same or different?
Same. Same.
Which one?
Oh, they're different.
They're different. Find the
Difference.
difference. 10. Greatest distance. Negative 12, so it's negative. Minus 4. Can I rewrite it?
Yeah.
Plus negative 4? Same or different?
Same.
Find the,
So.
keep the